Hi, everyone. I'm Ronnie.
And I'm Jessica.
And you're listening to Clean With Me,
the podcast where we walk you through cleaning your house.
Thanks for joining me. In today's episode, we're going to focus on cleaning a bedroom. But before you do that, I want you to gear up for your cleaning session. And then I'm going to have you take care of a couple other things so that you can feel relaxed about focusing on cleaning your room. Because there's always something more pressing than cleaning your bedroom. Let's face it. So I like to do a couple things first and then clean the bedroom. As far as gearing up for your cleaning session, maybe you want to freshen up a little bit, run a brush through your hair, wash your face, maybe put on some makeup, whatever you like to do to feel comfortable and presentable. Another thing you might want to do is get your house smelling good, take out the trash, start a wax warmer, or light a candle. Or maybe you just need to straighten up your immediate front entrance area or take care of some glaring problem, maybe a spill caused by a toddler or something like that. I'll give you a couple minutes to gear up for your cleaning session. Starting a load of laundry might be a thing too. Laundry switching clothes from the washer into the dryer. While you're doing whatever you need to do to gear up for your cleaning session, I'm not expecting you to do everything I just mentioned, of course. I'll talk about what's ahead. What we're going to do is we're going to do a load of dishes, whether that means an empty reload and run of the dishwasher or just gathering the dishes to the sink area, washing that first sink load and getting the rest of it soaking. Okay, we got to get a handle on those dishes and then straighten up your living room or family room. I mean, some of us only have one living area, but straighten up whichever living area needs it the most. I mean, getting the dishes under control and straightening up a living area is pretty much the beginning of most of my cleaning sessions because I want that done first, especially because my living room is on the front of the house. So my front entrance and living area are one and the same. If the dishes are done and that front living area is clean, then I feel like I can relax and take my time cleaning my bedroom, a bathroom, a laundry room, or, tackling some other project. Also, I highly recommend that you have some type of earbuds. Okay, I don't have the expensive Apple EarPods or whatever like my teenage son does, but I use just those wired earbuds that used to come with the iPhone. Whatever you use, it's good to have something like that because I don't know. It can be hard to stay focused on a podcast when you're just playing it out loud on a speaker. I mean, maybe that works for you, but the way I like to do it is if I'm listening to something that involves talking, whether it's a podcast or random YouTube video, I like to have something directly in my ears. Whereas if I'm playing music and I don't have to hyper focus on it and I want it super loud, that's when I use my Bluetooth speaker. That's kind of like a boombox, so to speak, that plays pretty loud. But definitely having those earbuds helps me get a lot done. I put them in when I go for walks. I put them in when I'm on phone calls. And I put them in when I'm listening to something. And that just keeps me moving. And then I stick the phone in my pocket and just get to work. So hopefully that's what you're doing with me. If not, listen however you want to listen. There's no wrong way to do it. I was just saying that's how I do it. And since I can be a little bit scatterbrained and misplace things, I have 2 sets of those earbuds. So I can always find a pair when I need one. By now, you've probably either freshened up, started some laundry, taken the trash out, whatever you needed to do. Let's get into our cleaning session. You're going to want to gather dishes from around the house. I just don't like the idea of starting in the bedroom. We do have some episodes where we literally start in the bedroom. But in this episode, I'm going to have you do some dishes and straighten up one of your living areas, whichever one needs the most help, whether that's the front of your house, like a front room, or even just a family room in the back. I know at a house where our family room was kind of in the back, it tended to get messy because I focused on keeping that front foyer area clean, the entryway, the formal dining room, everything that was close to the front door. I kept really clean for the first impression when my husband would get home or if a neighbor would come to the door. I was ready. But the family room was deeper into the house, out of sight. So a lot of times that was the messy room that I needed to clean after doing my dishes. Okay. And so let's talk about doing the dishes. When I say doing the dishes, I don't mean not to wipe down any surfaces, but sometimes your kitchen is cluttered or whatever, and the focus is more on dishes. Meaning, since this isn't a kitchen episode, you might not be putting away the crock pot or Instant Pot or bread machine that's been sitting out for a while and you haven't been using it. You might just be giving the countertop a swipe and kind of lifting things and wiping around them after doing dishes, kind of a minimum dishwashing session. And, just doing like an empty reload and run or, a quick sink load and getting the other stuff to soak. If you are doing dishes by hand, I definitely like to wash all of the silverware, glasses, bowls, and plates first. And then the more heavily soiled items like pots, pans, spatulas, I will pre-rinse those and get those soaking and then come back to those later. But it's always nice when everything can just fit into the dishwasher or can be washed in just one sink load. No judgment here if you're behind on dishes, but kind of the goal of this show is to keep you at a point where you can quickly do your dishes and that you're not letting things build up. But we all fall off the wagon in that area. Life happens, we get busy. I get that. So maybe you're gathering dishes from a bedroom. Maybe you've got a coffee mug on your nightstand. Maybe your teenager has a plate or a bowl that they forgot about sitting next to their video gaming station, whether that's in their bedroom or in the living room. Maybe you don't have teenagers. It's just an example. Maybe your baby left a bottle in the back and play or the crib, and you got to get that to the kitchen so that milk doesn't harden in there or whatever. Just get started on the dishes, whatever it means for you. Maybe you need to put away some clean stuff, and just wipe down surfaces in your kitchen. It's always good if you're listening in the morning, it's always good to get your dishes put away because a lot of us, we do dishes after dinner or before bed and we leave them sitting out to dry. Some are in the dishwasher, some things are in a drying rack or drying pad. Getting those things cleared first thing in the morning can set the stage for a day where you're doing your dishes as you go. So I highly recommend that. We're going to spend just a couple more minutes to get that empty reload and run of the dishwasher done or that first sink load or to get things soaking. And of course, you're going to want to give your countertops and stovetops a swipe. Yesterday, I was, wiping down all of my appliances and my cabinets and whatnot. If you want a longer kitchen episode where you do all that, feel free to switch to another episode or maybe listen to another episode after this. But we've got to make time for cleaning the bedroom. And if you're unhappy about how many dishes you have to wash right now, and you have kids who are old enough to kind of dirty their own dishes, and for some reason too much stuff is getting dirtied, you may want to take some stuff out of circulation. Some things you don't need unless you're having company. You only have a few people in your household probably, so you might not need them to have access to 18 plates and 10 bowls or something if you're a family of 5. Make sense? I'm not the kind of minimalist that says get rid of everything because You might need to have people over on short notice, and you might not necessarily be buying disposable plates and bowls, or maybe you're going to serve steaks or whatever. Or maybe you have all of your extended family over for Thanksgiving or Christmas or some other holiday. I get that. I like having a lot of stuff too, but I also like taking it out of circulation so that people are forced to wash their dishes as they go. Hopefully you've quickly washed that first sink load or started that dishwasher. Let's move on to quickly straightening up the living area that needs it most. In any living room or family room, you're going to first want to remove anything from the floor that doesn't belong. You may not have things on the floor, but maybe there's a pair of shoes or something like that on the floor. Or if you've got kids, there's no telling what's on the floor, or pets. You never know. But oftentimes it just involves straightening the couch cushions and then clearing clutter off of maybe an end table or coffee table. Okay, get that straightened up. And you may need more time, obviously, if you're having to pick up toys and put them in a toy box or something like that. Or if there's, trash, chip bags lying around. Remove any clutter from the floor, couches, tables, and other surfaces. Okay. And maybe after this episode, you could quickly dust or vacuum that room. Okay. But right now you just want to get it straightened up. When I'm in a hurry and I'm thinking, man, I really should vacuum, but I don't have time. A lot of times I will just pick up my carpet and the equivalent with a hard floor. You could do a little bit of spot sweeping, I guess, just sweep a problem area. But when I just want to get my house quickly presentable, I will do a thing where I just kind of pick up any little balls of fuzz or debris off of the carpet. Now, it doesn't look nearly as good as if I had vacuumed, but that's what I do when I'm in a hurry. Definitely, if you're having company, you're going to want to sweep and mop or vacuum. It makes a huge difference. But this is just a quick straighten. I want you to feel like your house is under control as far as those first impression areas. Your main living area and your kitchen. And your kitchen doesn't have to be perfect right now, but we got the dishes going and, gave the countertops a swipe. Now we're straightening up your living area, your family room or your living room. Because if I'm expecting company, I definitely want to vacuum. I want to dust and vacuum to where the living room just really is giving clean. But if somebody is stopping by just to drop something off or, and they know you didn't really have a lot of warning or whatever, then it can be fine to just have that room tidied up and, pick up any debris off the floor. Okay, that was just a quick straighten. Let's head to the focus of our episode, which is your bedroom. You may want to gather some cleaning supplies. First, I have a couple wastebaskets in my bedroom, but you might need to grab a trash bag if you don't. You will also need something to clean with, maybe some microfiber cleaning cloths and your favorite spray, maybe some disinfecting wipes, maybe a feather duster if that's what you use, maybe glass cleaner. If you're going to be cleaning mirrors or windows or a sliding glass door, if you have that in your bedroom, you may want to grab your vacuum cleaner or a broom and dustpan, mop, bucket, whatever you're going to need. You might even need a dust mask or a scarf to put over your face if you're sensitive to dust and it's been a minute since you've cleaned your room. No judgment here, but get together whatever cleaning supplies you will be using. Maybe you use Pledge on wooden furniture in your room. Okay, maybe you use microfiber cloth to dust your TV screen. Okay, let's get those supplies together so that you are ready to tackle this project. And like with any room, you want to do the domino chore that's going to help kick things off. Like in the kitchen, it's usually doing dishes. Okay. In your room, it's usually making the bed. So you're going to either want to strip your bedding and take it to the laundry room or quickly make your bed. If this is not a day that you're washing your bedding, it's only going to take you like 60 seconds to make your bed. It's going to instantly make the room look better. It's going to help you build momentum, and it's going to give you a staging area for things that you need to pick up off of the floor and you're not sure what to do with them immediately. So, yeah, making your bed is a great first step. Another thing you might want to do if you're like me and you have a ceiling fan, once you make your bed, you might want to grab a pillowcase and use it to remove dust from the fan blades. If you're like me and you can stand on your bed and reach your ceiling fan. It might have been a while since you've dusted your ceiling fan, but that does improve the look of the room. And when you're lying in bed looking up at that, it probably doesn't look good if it hasn't been dusted in a while. So that's kind of a bonus task today that I don't talk about very often. And of course, you're going to want to remove any clutter from the floor. Maybe you or your spouse has left dirty clothes on the floor or shoes that belong somewhere else, or just random items, empty boxes from packages you've opened, toys a small child left there, your luggage from when you got back from a trip and you still haven't unpacked. No judgment here, but those are some items that might be on your bedroom floor. Now's the time to get your floor cleared. Don't put too much thought into getting rid of stuff or whatever. If something's obvious trash, you toss it. If it's not, put it in the obvious place. Shoes in the shoe rack of your closet or the floor of your closet. Dirty clothes in the hamper. And then any clean clothes you might want to put on your bed. That way you can kind of hang those up and put them away all at once. Sometimes clean clothes are draped over a chair. And sometimes we put off cleaning our room, but it's so quick when you actually just focus on it. Because I feel like sometimes it's just a back burner chore for a lot of us, and we don't put enough effort into it. We just kind of half-heartedly straighten it up and don't fully clean it. Today, I want you to quickly clean your room and do it right. You know, obviously this isn't a day, this isn't a super long episode, so this isn't a day that you're going to be scrubbing the baseboards. You can deep clean your bedroom by listening to another episode after this because you'll need more time, but you can get your bedroom looking pretty good in a very short time. By the way, I was talking about earbuds or AirPods earlier, headphones of any kind really. Getting in the habit of wearing some type of headphones where you can answer calls can definitely increase your productivity around the house. Okay? When there's drama going on in your extended family and people are wanting to call you and talk about it, having a headset of some sort or earbuds that you can talk into can be a lifesaver, because while you're talking, you can be doing your housework, you can be exercising, your life can continue on even though you're having to have these draining phone calls. So definitely multitask in that way. I'm not a really good multitasker, meaning certain things I can't really focus on at once. But when it comes to doing housework or walking for exercise, I can certainly be talking at the same time. So I definitely recommend that. And if you're like me where you're always misplacing your earbuds, do what I did. Buy more so that you always have them. I mean, there's a certain person who calls and it's just like I automatically go for those earbuds because I'm like, this is going to be a long call and I'm going to get a lot done. And it feels good to clean during a phone call because you almost don't even realize you're doing it. You get off the phone and you're like, wow, this room looks really good. But right now you're listening to a podcast. That's just a little tip for when you're done with this episode. If you're on a roll and you're going to continue cleaning the house while on a phone call or something, yeah, I highly recommend always having some type of headset or earbuds or AirPods at your disposal where you can talk and clean. Okay. Of course, once your floor is picked up, you're going to pick up your nightstands as far as clearing them off. Not everything that's on your nightstand probably belongs there. Clear off those nightstands and get them ready to dust. Okay. You may have a couple dressers or you may have a desk. I have to confess that since I quit my official day job where I was working 40 hours a week as a content writer remotely, my desk is not very organized and it's kind of turning into a catch-all. I'm planning today to organize that desk, and that way when my husband sits down to work on his computer, he'll have that space because he has his office at work, but that could be his home office as well. Of course, I use it as well, but I want it to have enough room for him to kind of spread out his stuff. Because lately he's been going to that pop-up coffee table when he does his computer work. So I want my desk that's in our bedroom to be more welcoming so that he can use that if he wants to. So maybe that could be something that you're working on right now if you don't have a lot of other more pressing matters in the bedroom as far as like picking up the floor and other surfaces. If your bedroom's relatively tidy, maybe you have an office in the corner that needs straightening up. And of course, once you start spraying and dusting, you may have windowsills to clean. To me, that's a big part of cleaning a bedroom is just dealing with that dusty windowsill. Again, we're not going to get into the super deep cleaning like tackling baseboards, but if you have a broom or mop close by and there's a cobweb in the upper corner of your bedroom, now's the time to knock that out. It's only going to take a second. And you've probably put your dirty clothes in the hamper. You've probably either hung up some clean clothes or laid them on the bed to hang up later before you go to bed. But there might also be items that don't belong in your room at all. And you might want to put those in a box or set them out in the hallway. Just remember to redistribute those items either during or after this episode. If you do have a feather duster handy, you might want to dust any framed pictures in your room. Definitely, I'm recording this in my room and I can definitely see some dust on this large picture above our bed that's pretty much the focal point of our room. I do see some dust. It needs to be dusted. So I'm just throwing that out there for you. Of course, the final touches once you've made your bed, you've picked up the floor, you've cleared and dusted surfaces. Of course, the final touch is going to be sweeping and mopping, or at least sweeping or vacuuming if you're like me and you have a carpeted bedroom. You may also need to replace the trash. You may need to dump that out and reline it. Or if it's just for, dry stuff and you don't have a liner, maybe you just need to dump it out. But you want to empty that trash. And you may also want to spray the room with an air freshener if you're so inclined. A lot of times what I like to do is spray Febreze on my carpet after cleaning my room. I like the way that smells. You may have something more natural that you use. That's fine. But I like to, as a finishing touch after dusting, sweeping, vacuuming, is to spray something to freshen the room. And I'm more, this isn't sponsored or anything, I just talk about stuff I use, but I'm not really into the Febreze Air Effects, like their air freshener sprays. I don't really spray air fresheners that often, but what I like is the fabric spray because I like how it makes my carpet and furniture smell. While you are finishing up with the dusting and the sweeping or the vacuuming in your room, I just wanted to say special thanks to our financial supporters who support the show either on Patreon, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, which is that purple podcast app, or if you've ever sent us a Venmo or Cash App donation. I appreciate that so much, but even just listening helps us. I realize not everybody's able to support the show financially. If that's you, just please click follow on whichever podcast app you use. And another way you can help us that doesn't cost a penny is by giving us a 5-star rating and review on Apple or whichever app you use. We've seen those reviews and ratings pouring in, and we are super grateful for that. So I know I mentioned it the other day, and you guys heard me, you stepped up. But if you have not yet reviewed the show, please do that. If you're wondering about how to support the show and gain access to bonus episodes, you can visit cleanwithmepodcast.com and read more about your options there, or click on a link in the description, the episode notes. If your room was a total disaster, we have other bedroom episodes. This is not a show where I'm expecting you to listen to the episodes chronologically. Now, some people who are caught up on the episodes just wait for a new one to come out, listen to that one next. I totally get that. But for a lot of you, you might benefit from just clicking on an episode that covers the room that you need to work on. Okay? Because some of these episodes are shorter than others. And I know in this episode, we spent some time on dishes in a front room. There are other episodes that are completely focused on cleaning the bedroom for the entire episode. So don't feel discouraged if your room is still messy and you need to do more. Sometimes our bedrooms can just become a dumping ground because we're trying to keep the rest of the house clean, or we just do a lot in our bedroom, like we live in there. It's our TV watching area, it's our office, all the things, and that can cause it to be cluttered. I get it, but if you didn't get it clean during this episode, check out another bedroom cleaning episode. And don't be tempted to skip the vacuuming or sweeping step. Vacuuming is oh so important in our room, even though people don't really see our room very often. And one of the reasons, obviously we see it, and that's the room we wake up in, so we want it to look clean. We want it to be welcoming when we come home to it, when we wake up in it. But on top of that, just a logistical reason is like sometimes the dog tracks in like some little stickers and then called goat heads, and we end up stepping on them. So this room needs to get vacuumed pretty much daily. But going to bed in a clean room, waking up in a clean room is so beneficial. And if your room's been messy for a long time, you may not realize what you're missing. I hope you got a lot done during this episode. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, happy cleaning. I'll talk to you soon.